Okay, here we go.
Understanding the flight of the ball and being able to read it early, to detect some cues from the ball early and try to anticipate where the ball is going to bounce. It makes a huge difference in your game because it gives you that extra time to really prepare and execute a solid swing. So one good exercise to practice this is one where you try to call as soon as possible where the ball is going to land. You rally with your partner and you try to call where the ball is going to bounce before your partner's ball passes the net. So as early as possible, as early as you know where the ball is going to bounce, you will call. So you can start first calling short and deep, then maybe you can go right or left. So what we're going to do is we're going to do both options right now. I'm going to rally with my partner first down the line, and I'm going to call if the ball is going to land before the service line. I'm going to say short. If it's going to land deep, I'm going to say long.
Okay, so that was 30 minutes into the video, and he was talking about perception. And this is something that I've really never gone over with my students. And I noticed that when I'm playing tennis, I use it all the time. So it's probably very good to introduce this to your students, or think about this while you're playing on the club level. And that is, can you see absolutely the way the ball is spinning or not spinning or back spinning? Okay, so some people are hitting a flat ball, and that flat ball has such a different bounce than the backspin ball and the topspin ball. So Del Potro would be a good person to check out a good flat shot. Plus the force on it feels like it's actually getting faster as you hit it. And then of course, perception on grass, perception on clay, perception on hard court, perception in the rain, all those perception indoors is so different than outdoors.
Now we're going to try to do the same thing. I'm going to rally cross court and I'm going to call right or left, wherever I think the ball is going to bounce. Right. Right. Left. Right.
So that was the fifth factor. Let's take a look at the sixth factor, determining your skill level.
Let's go to the next one, variation. It's very, very important to understand that the technical goal for any tennis player should be to learn to receive any type of ball coming towards you and to learn to send it back with the desired combination of direction, height, spin. So you have to be adaptive with your swing. So on the ground strokes, I have determined that if you practice 5 different types of ground strokes, your strokes are gonna start becoming more flexible. That means you're gonna be better at receiving different shots and better at sending different shots. And in a match, what happens? Every single shot that gets to you is a little bit different, so you have to learn to adapt. The same thing happens at the net. There are 5 volley variations that you need to practice every time that you play. Let's take a look at the 5 ground stroke variations. So how would you incorporate these variations into your practice? Well, instead of practicing 20 minutes of forehand cross court, you're going to practice 3 or 4 minutes, just your regular forehand shot, cross court, keeping it deep. And then the next 3 minutes, maybe both of you hit higher balls. Then the next couple of minutes, one of you hit high balls and the other one tries to catch the ball off the shoulder level and attack it. Then you're going to try to practice hitting maybe balls that are short before the service line, so where you're taking a good swing but the ball is landing short. Or maybe one of you hits one short one and one deep one, and the other one just hits the forehands cross court deep.
Okay, so that was variation. Did you know that there are 5 different types of ground strokes? And you do have to vary the ball. I play with a lot of players, different players, and there's one guy I particularly like to play with. I'm telling you, this guy has more variation on his shots than anybody I've ever seen. He can backspin, he can topspin, he can slice, and he really disguises the ball a lot. And he doesn't have a lot of power. You could tell that he's a basketball player, but his knees are gone. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. He doesn't bend a lot. He doesn't run. I mean, he can get around the court and he runs fast, but you can tell that he's, so he uses a lot of finesse, and he uses a lot of underslice and top slice and drop shots and lobs, and his top spin, just his regular top spin shot, is something to deal with. He's got a lot on it. So I would say variation is the key to his game, and he does very well with it. Okay, so let's take a look at the next.
Next performance determining factor is spin. Spin is really what separates the better players from the rest.
Let me show you how to slice. In tennis, you have 3 types of shots. You can hit the ball flat. That means the ball is not really rotating. It's coming straight out of the racket and without any rotation. You can hit with topspin. That means the ball is rotating forward. Or you can hit with slice. That means that you hit it in such a way that the ball is rotating backwards towards you. What are the advantages of hitting with slice? Well, what slice does is that it stays low or it stops moving forward. So it is very useful for situations where you want to keep the ball low on that side. For instance, an approach shot. If I hit a deep approach shot with slice, the ball is going to stay low and the opponent is going to have to hit up. If I'm at the net, I'm going to be able to volley. The other very useful shot with slice is when you want to hit the ball short. If you hit it with slice, the ball is just going to stop. So I think a slice is a very useful tool for you. Let me explain how it works. In order to hit with slice, you really have to hit a little bit on the bottom part of the ball. If this is a ball, half of the ball here, you want to hit on the bottom part of the ball. And you want to hit with the open racket head. So the best grip for a slice shot is a continental grip, just like a hammer. Okay, that's your continental grip. You can use it for a backhand or you can use it for a forehand. Very important with the slice is that the wrist stays up, racket head above the hand. Same thing on the backhand. Actually, at contact, your racket is going to be a little bit open, but fairly parallel to the net. If this is parallel, it's going to be just a little bit open. If you do that and hit through the ball, you're going to have a nice, aggressive slice. If you want to hit the ball shorter, then you're going to have to open the racket a little bit more, hit a little bit softer at the ball. Very important is the wrist doesn't really move, so you're not hitting slice by moving your wrist like that. Okay? Your wrist stays fairly stable. You want the wrist stable, you want to have the racket, if you're hitting a backhand, the racket is going to start open in the back. It's going to come forward, your wrist is going to stay firm, you're going to get to contact, and the racket is going to close a little bit. If it started like that, it's going to close a little bit, you're going to hit the ball, and then you're going to open up. If you're trying to hit the slice and the ball is kind of popping up like that, that means that you're getting too much under the ball. The racket is too open at contact. So keep your racket close and then just hit through the ball. Just lead a little bit with the lower edge. That is going to help you. So racket above the hand, firm wrist, start above the ball, and then go to the ball and slightly down, racket is slightly open the contact, and then hit through it. That is important. You want the ball to go fairly fast and through. You don't want it spinny and high. You want to make sure it's a solid shot. Don't use your wrist to slice it, and don't chop down it.
Hi, today I would like to teach you how to hit topspin. What is topspin? Topspin is a spin in which the ball is turning forwards. It's spinning forwards fast.